Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. We might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are married because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she's never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Canis Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh. Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentler tone.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive part, whether he can issue President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would
can't?
Be a gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse. A presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, Jamie Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt.
Ah!
Or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he
about
get a pardon
this.
also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that committee?
The seeking of pardons is...
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. You're going to condemn that pardon.
You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One who, in fact, one drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators thinking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to out and out deny anything. That's the weird.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Select the Boy asks, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Have a got to stay out. Is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Trump has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can.
I have no idea.
At the end of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about. And even more, the ones I didn't even get to, I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Hey. Sound like I'm working in the cotton fields. That sounded weird. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. I don't know why I'm whispering, probably because my son's working upstairs and I don't want to disturb him. But anyway, happy to have you here. It's Thursday, almost time for the weekend. Does anybody have any great plans for the weekend? I'm just curious. I don't know why. Mine are chill because it's Lady Boomer's birthday and we have our annual trek up to northern Wisconsin where we hang out at a friend's cabin and grill steaks and stuff. So that's some cool stuff. But anyway, so that's what my weekend's going to be. But I don't leave till tomorrow or till Saturday. Lady Boomer's leaving tomorrow. But so we're looking forward to it. It'll be a nice, relaxing weekend. And who knows? We might golf a little bit. We might go out in the boat. We might go do kind of stuff. Say bag. Are you talking to me? Say bag. I'm not from these parts. Now, if you ask my wife to say bag, she says bag with a long A. I don't know why they do that in Minnesota and northern Wisconsin. They say bag. And I've never really checked to see if my offspring, our offspring, do that or not. But yeah, they say bag. And it's funny because my wife says bag for bag. But then I'm going to type a word in the chat. That word, she says bagel. So she says bag for bag and bagel for bagel. I don't understand why they have and I thought it was just her, but no, several Minnesotans that I've met also say bagel. And I'm like, that's weird. It's a bagel. Like sitting on the top of the bagel. And it's not sitting up top of a bag. It's sitting on top of a bag. So anyway. Excuse me. I need to drink. Today's coffee is brought to you by Viva Las Vegas. All right, let's say hi to everybody and get going. I'm not as prepared today as I am some other days, which doesn't mean much because I'm not always all that prepared. By the way, if you happen to come over here for Ranting Monkey stream, if you happen to catch them being done over there, I highly encourage you to send them all over here. Okay, there's a new name. I haven't seen that one before. Okay, let's say hi to everybody and get this thing going. First in the chat today, the world is right as usual. Mr. Avocados Diabli gets the bell. Yeah, because you were first. Also, good morning to Aaron Meredith, here bright and early. Attack Alpaca, JB. And then I have to scroll down a while. Maddie's in the house. Hope you're feeling well, my friend. Somnable Nation, Blue Eyed Scream, Erico DiStefano, Attack Alpaca. JB, I said already. Okay, who else is here? Oh, that's me. Bagel. Bagel. The Pope. Pope Tyrannius III, Blessed Lich, with a message of hope daily. Blessing of the divine dead be upon you all. Each day is a blessing and a gift from him to you. So there you go. Thank you, Pope Tyrannius. And two names Midnight. I've seen Midnight before. How you doing? And then Gizmo, the Garbotwan. Is that how they say that? I don't know who that is. That's somebody new, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the show. Like I said, Monkey's streaming over on YouTube. He's got, I don't know what he's got going on here. But anyway, let's see. Have any of you gone over to Monkey's and said, hey, make sure you send everybody over here when we're done? I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying. Okay. By the way, if you're not subscribed, if you're new here, not subscribed, hit that thing that Johnny Boomer Tech just put in the chat. Also, if you want to sponsor the show, PDawgKnight.live, Johnny Boomer Tech puts that in the chat every so often. That's the best place to do it. You can do super chats too, but that's cool. All right, enough about that. Let's get into some stuff. Now, first of all, thanks for all the people who have shared the stream, which I'm now going back and seeing new ones. Of course, Somnambule Nation beat me to the punch, aka Lincoln Description. I had to say that slowly, but it's a very catchy name. But thank you for sharing the show. I already retweeted that and got a little happy Thursday with a little Mad Men gif. That's nice. And then JB, what got away from the samurai stuff? You said something about samurai. Oh, here we go. My day was good yesterday. I snagged 6 Stream Samurai and Shogun Assassin for about $20 each off of Amazon. Really, I don't know what that is. I'm assuming they're samurai movies. 6 Stream. Oh, 6 Stream is in 6. Yes, 6 movies. But anyway, got a little Mick Foley going off the top of the cage. That's wild. Thank you for the let's go. Also, Blue Eyed Scream let me know that Monkey is stepping on her time slot. Now, let me explain something though, because I don't consider that stepping on my time slot. Monkey and I are friends, and we're cool with that. And I know he streams when he can, when he's available, and when he's can get out of bed. And I don't. It's all good. We're all friends here, and I don't own the time slot as much as I'd like to. But it's just part of the game, man. It's okay. So also thank you, Tyre Alexander. Oops, what happened there? Oh, it's Tyre with the daily woo from Ric Flair. There you go. I gotta repost that for sure. And then a bunch. And there's a reaction on Puerto Rico, and Tyre Alexander, JB, and Somnambule Nation all retweeting the show. So I appreciate that. If you be so kind, share this somewhere, wherever you have people that are following you. It would be great. First sponsor of the day, Avocados Diabli.
Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the
Well, that was a bit premature, but it is true. You are the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor today, Avocados Diabli, and dropping a small bullet in the tip jar, 223, saying, not only was I first, I will also take to my grave that you accidentally had the camera on whilst you had your finger buried 2 knuckles deep in your nose. So when you edit it out, no one will ever know. Did I? Well, I'll be damned. Did I pick my nose? God damn. Well, that's embarrassing. Okay, I will edit that out. Thanks for letting me know. I had no idea. I thought I had the starter screen on, and I thank God I had something to wipe it on other than my pants. Anyway, that's gross. Anyway, thanks for that. Mom would have shared it, but her tablet died. Oh, I see. Oh, Midnight. Oh, it's Ms. Wildwolf. What's up? Ms. Wildwolf's here too. I always forget Midnight is the lovely daughter of Ms. Wildwolf. Okay, so I don't know why. This is still on because and that's reaction on Puerto Rico, matching my boat themed. Let's go. So there you go. All right. Now it's a little disjointed today as far as what's going to be on the show. Some of it's going to be on the fly. Some of it's going to be pre-prepared or lack thereof. But here we go. Let's start with the special day today. Today is Purple Heart Day. I think it's a very important day where we honor the 1.8 million heroes who have been awarded a Purple Heart. Their bravery will never be forgotten. Here's a message from none other than Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth about that. Let's put that full screen. Here we go.
Today, we're proud to commemorate Purple Heart Day. Created in 1782 by General George Washington, the Purple Heart Medal is the oldest military award still presented to American warriors. We award this medal to our brave troops wounded or killed in action. Over 1.8 million patriots have earned this award, each one of them sacrificing for us, for our country, and for our security. So on this Purple Heart Day, please join us in remembering and honoring these great Americans. We are grateful for their selfless service. We will never forget their heroism, and we strive to possess their courage. And that's why I'm proud to be joined by Assistant Secretary of Defense Sean Parnell, who received a Purple Heart for his sacrifice. Sean, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. A grateful nation never forgets its heroes, its triumphs, or its pain. Recipients of the Purple Heart Award put their bodies and souls on the line for this great country. During those quiet moments, when the flag waves at half-mast, we remember not just the medals pinned to their chests, but the scars etched into their stories. The ones that whisper of battles fought in distant lands and freedoms defended at an unthinkable cost. These men and women didn't ask for glory. They demanded it through sheer will, turning fear into fortitude and chaos into courage that echoes through generations to this very day. They are the best among us because they inspire the best within us. And so on this Purple Heart Day, we honor them not with empty words, but with a promise to build a nation worthy of their sacrifice, where every citizen stands a little taller because they showed us how. So take a moment to thank a veteran, fly the flag, or simply pause in gratitude.
Thank you, brother.
You got it, my
All I
friend.
can say to that is amen.
All right, so there you go. The U.S. Department of Defense put that out. Hopefully it's not copyrighted music because I hate when they do that. Anyway, and Stop Noble Nation makes a great point. Thank you to all that serve regardless. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So also I see some new people in the chat. TC's here. Reaction Puerto Rico. And Darren Root, welcome. And is that everybody? That's everybody. All right. Let's move on here. Other holidays happening today, just for your viewing pleasure. National Sea Serpent Day. I don't know why that's a thing. National Raspberries and Cream Day. That sounds like something you'd celebrate in UK. But I already said Purple Heart Day. National Lighthouse Day. I love me some lighthouses. Whenever Lady Boomer and I travel, there are a few things that we always try to look for, especially if we're anywhere near water. One, waterfalls. Two, lighthouses. So obviously you have to be on an ocean or a very large lake for lighthouses. In fact, my favorite lighthouse that we've ever visited is here in Minnesota. It's the Split Rock Lighthouse up on the north shore of Lake Superior. Beautiful lighthouse. And I have some great pictures of it because we were there during fall colors. And it was a really cloudy day, and all of a sudden just this peak of sun, like a hole came in the clouds, and the sun came down on that lighthouse as we were down on a beach way down below, and it sits way up on a cliff overlooking Lake Superior. Got a really good picture of it. So I may post that again someday. You might have seen it already. It's also National IPA Day. Hey, always an excuse to celebrate beer. Aged Care Employee Day, Cycle to Work Day, and Professional Speakers Day. So we can celebrate, I don't know, Bill Clinton or something. Anyway, so those are the holidays today. Yay. Things that are trending. South Park is trending. South Park is trending. Now, if you haven't seen the episode of South Park, it's on. They posted it on X. The entire episode looks like, at least the part where they're making fun of Kristi Noem and Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago, whatever, and basically just taking a whole shot at conservatives. And actually, I listened to it all this morning, and I wasn't mad. I thought it was actually fairly funny, and they take shots at the left too, and this one they took shots at the right, and some of it's grinds a little bit, but some of it is actually funny. And even JD Vance, look here on X, he goes, well, I finally made it, because they put a little they made him be her Visheli's, whatever, I don't know if you're familiar with Fantasy Island, but the little midget dude on Fantasy Island, they made JD Vance that. So he obviously found it funny. I'm curious. Here's what I want to see though. So they take a shot at Charlie Kirk. They take a shot at conservative, or the Manosphere debate guys. They take a shot at all kinds of stuff, and it's actually kind of funny. And if you can't laugh at yourself or laugh at your side, then you're clearly a Democrat, because they don't have any sense of humor at all. So I hope people take this with a sense of humor. It looks like JD Vance did. I'm curious what the people replied to JD Vance this R. So let's take a quick look, because I haven't even looked at this. Here it is. So he put, well, I finally made it. Being on South Park. Someone here, South Park is off the chain. Take it as cultural satire and hang a copy on your wall. Agreed. I agree. Like, just, it's your mate. You know, if you make it on South Park, it's just what it is. Congrats, you have hit the big time. Some people are celebrating this. You understand South Park is bringing awareness to the obvious issue Trump has with the convicted sex trafficker, right? You understand you're covering for probably a pedophile, right? Yeah, no, Devin, I don't think so. But you know what? If that is the case, FTG'd him too. Okay, but there's no evidence of that yet. You have zero evidence other than they're being weird about the files, which I think it's more because there are some powerful people who probably put a bullet in you if you let that shit get out. I'm just saying. They obviously got to Jeffrey Epstein in prison. You're out in the open, right? Anyway, someone says this is mockery of the president and VP. Now, if this was them getting mocked, it would be the greatest crime in human history and something about racism. The Democrats have zero problems with what they condemn as long as it's them doing it. Okay, yeah, they're mocking the president, and they did it in a humorous way. And some people may not be able to get over it. I don't know. Imagine the left reacting to this. It's a sign of the character of Vance and Charlie that they are in such good sports. America is lucky to have them. I'm curious. I haven't seen Charlie Kirk's reaction, but anyway, they do make fun of him too, and I think they kind of make fun. They make fun of the Whatever podcast in an offhanded way. Hello, Kirsten. What up, K-Shell? So anyway, but there are some funny bits to it, but I'm not going to play it because I don't know what their copyright what's the word, triggers like. But if you will find the episode on X if you look for it. They put the entire episode on. In fact, I think, let me see here. I might even be able to find it. Here's the South Park X feed. I think they did put the entire episode on. Let's see here. Let me look. Welcome to Mar-a-Lago, South Park. Oh, and they also make fun of, they savage Kristi Noem too. They savage her. Oh my gosh. Cause they have a whole section on remember the counselor, he joins ICE. I mean, it's in here somewhere. So anyway, I will, am I going to put a separate link here? Yeah, I'll put a link to South Park's X feed too. So there you go. Enough about that. Next up, speaking of entertainment and ICE, Dean Cain is trending. Who knows who Dean Cain is? Who knows who Dean Cain is? Now, it's funny because some people don't remember Dean Cain than for his political stuff, and that he once played Superman. Well, yeah, he was the Superman in Man of Steel, the TV series on, I think, ABC. Dean Cain, Superman, has now apparently is joining ICE, as in Immigration Customs something enforcement. Breaking, American actor and icon Dean Cain has officially confirmed he will be joining ICE, will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP. He calls on others to join. Here's his announcement on that news station that everybody claims controls us and whatnot. Here he is.
So now I've spoken with some officials over at ICE, and I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP. So they'll have 80,001 recruits for their 10,000 positions.
Well, they can't have a better guy than Dean Cain. Are you going to be hopping out of ICE vans and apprehending guys?
I will do whatever Director Lyons wants me to do. If that's what it takes, absolutely. I somehow doubt I'll be in that position, but I would be there in a heartbeat. These brave.
So anyway, I don't need to play the whole thing, but so yeah, Dean Cain is going to be an official ICE employee. So he's probably going to get that $45,000 signing bonus, make $90,000 a year. To which some people are, obviously people on the left are just pissed off about this. So here's one guy, first of all, saying the word icon being used in reference to Dean Cain and makes this gif. Yeah, he is a bit of an icon if you were alive in the 90s. Someone here says, translation, Dean Cain has finally been hired for a job since 1997. Oh, that's cold. That's cold. Dean Cain does a lot of like Hallmark movies and stuff now, I think. Anyway, breaking the ice actor and icon Dean Cain announced he joined ICE and is calling on fellow Americans to do the same. Dean Cain and icon in the same sentence. Yeah, they're absolutely losing their minds over this. It's hilarious. So anyway, there you go. That's some entertainment news. Mozambique is trending. Apparently, this is not good news. Let's do some news stuff. Apparently, ISIS soldiers are beheading Christians in Mozambique, burning homes and churches, and a silent genocide. Well, that doesn't sound silent. Let's see. Someone here says, please pray for all Christians in Mozambique, for the repose of those who have been martyred and justice against their murderers. May their blood be not in vain, but seed for the church. I'm afraid to click on any of these links though, because I don't want a picture of someone being beheaded. But let's see. Here's the story on Fox News. ISIS soldiers behead Christians in Mozambique, burning churches at home. Silent genocide. International observers are reporting that ISIS-aligned soldiers are beheading Christians and burning churches and homes in Central and Southern Africa, with some of the most brutal attacks happening in the nation of Mozambique. The Middle East Research Institute, MEMRI, a counterterrorism research nonprofit based in Washington, D.C., is sounding the alarm about what is described as a silent genocide taking place against Christians. The Islamic State Mozambique province recently released 20 photos boasting of 4 attacks in Christian villages in the Chire district, Mozambique's northern Cabo Delgado province, and in Mozambique's northern Cabo Delgado province. According to MEMRI says the photos shows ISIS operatives raiding villages and burning a church and their homes. The images also allegedly depict the beheadings of a member of what the jihadists consider infidel militias and 2 Christian civilians. Rampaging jihadist groups celebrated the killings. Photos also showed corpses of several members of those so-called infidel militias, according to the Institute's analysis. So, not a good scene. I don't know what we do about that. I mean, they get really mad. What happens in that one tiny little country that's surrounded. But I probably not, other than from Fox News, you probably won't hear a hell of a lot about this. Good morning, Louie. Oh, he's in the chat. All right, next on the list. Oh, census is trending because apparently Donald Trump is calling for the non-counting of illegal aliens in the U.S. Census, which, now what's funny about this is a lot of these states that are blue-ish or blue that are consider themselves sanctuary states and are actually encouraging illegal immigrants to be in their states can affect the makeup of our government because the apportionment of seats, meaning how many seats each state get, is based on the population of the state. Now, currently, or in the past, for I don't know how long, the United States Census counts every person in the United States, regardless if they're a citizen or a legal alien or an illegal alien. And whatever numbers they come up with is how they determine how many representatives each state gets, or how many electoral votes each state gets for our Congress and our president. So I've always thought it crazy that they count any non-citizens anyway. In fact, that's exactly what Avocados Diablo says. Non-citizens should not be counted, period, not just illegals. Yeah, I don't know why. If someone's here, they're a temporary residence because they're working here, they're not a citizen. I mean, why would you count that towards your government, the way your government's made up? So anyway, Donald Trump has posted this, and it's pissing off lefties, especially the blue states. Donald Trump says, I have instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work on a new and highly accurate census based on modern day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 2024. People who are counted in our country illegally will not be counted in the census. Or people who are in our country illegally. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, Stephen Miller reveals Democrats got 20 to 30 House seats from counting illegal aliens in the census. Here's Stephen Miller talking about this. And I know a lot of people don't like Stephen Miller, but it doesn't mean he's wrong on the issue, especially people on the left.
Illinois, Chicago, New York, Massachusetts. Democrats have gerrymandered the vote beyond recognition to try to maintain their advantage in the House elections. On top of that, let's not forget, Democrats rigged the 2020 census by including illegal aliens. Remember, they sued Donald Trump, they sued the administration, they fought tooth and nail to include illegal aliens in the census. 20 to 30 of House Democrat seats wouldn't exist but for illegal aliens. Texas is taking just a small corrective step against this ocean of fraud, this ocean
obviously
of abuse.
He's talking a lot about redistricting, but yeah, they do. They do count illegal aliens in the census, at least the 2020 census. I don't know if that's normal. So now they say that illegal aliens will not be counted in the census. I don't know why foreigners are counted in our census. They're not Americans, But there you go. Now someone here says, someone needs to explain to MAGA the difference between redistricting every 10 years after the census comes out and doing it in the middle of that period 16 months away from a major election. So please spare me with your Democrats did the same thing bullshit. Well, they're talking about how Democrats did redistricting in a couple different states in 2023. Part of that was at least one state in that bunch that did so because they weren't able to do their census in 2020, or they didn't redistrict after the 2020 census. They waited, and there were problems, so they waited until 2023. But others, I can't remember why others did it, but anyway. So this is interesting. The Constitution requires a full census every 10 years. It never prohibits more frequent censuses, and because the most recent census was obviously rigged, a new and accurate census should absolutely be ordered. So that's what I guess he's saying. Now this person says this is unconstitutional, but wait until they realize that the first states to lose seats in a census without undocumented migrants will be Texas and Florida. Oh, maybe that's possible. And you can't see it, it's on the screen. Let's see, on this is CNN. Representative Ami Bera is mad President Trump doesn't want illegals counted in the census. Let's see what this guy says. He's big mad because of this.
So on the subject of things that happen every 10 years, the census is one of them, and it has already happened for this decade. Yet just a short time ago, President Trump said on social media he's ordering the Commerce Department, which oversees the census, to do a new one mid-decade. What do you think is going on here?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing he did with the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me stop for a second. As someone who knows people who work for the census, even though they have a census every 10 years and their busy time is clearly at the beginning of a decade, people in the census constantly count people. They're constantly working to figure out where people are and how many there are, whatever, because it's an enormous job with not enough people doing it. So it's not like they just begin doing the census at the beginning of 2020 and then that's it. No, they work all 10 years figuring out who's where and what not. So it's not like they're, granted, now Donald Trump saying begin work on a new and highly accurate census. Whatever he means there, but it's not like they don't continually count. So, excuse me.
Manipulate the data. He understands that he's not super popular right now, that his bill that passed a couple weeks ago is going to hurt a lot of Americans, and it's not
It
popular.
hasn't yet.
So he's going to do everything he can to cheat and bend the rules, break the rules to stay in power. I don't think that's what the American people want. Again, the census is there to collect information on everyone who's in this country, even those that may be here in an undocumented capacity. We need to know those numbers. So
it's not that we need to know those numbers, sir. It's whether or not they count toward apportionment, and that is not. You know what? Let's see. Let me check something here. Let's see. So here's apportionment in Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is not the best place. Apportionment is a process by which seats in a legislative body are distributed among administrative divisions, such as states, parties entitled to representation. This page presents the general principles and issues related to apportionment. The apportionment by country page. Okay, that's not what I wanted to look for. I wanted to look for if it showed anywhere here whether or not there are rules in the Constitution about the illegal aliens and counting apportionment, because I don't think this. I don't know that the census is. I think it's law more than constitutional law. I'm not sure. Nope. California and New York would lose seats, seeing how they're chock full of illegals. Yeah, they would. They would probably lose the most seats. But even if Texas lost seats because of it, even if Florida lost seats because of it, okay, so be it. You know, whatever. Counting illegal aliens in the census robs American citizens of representation and resources. Thank you, President Trump, for putting an end to this insanity. Yeah, that should have been done a long time ago. I don't know. That's my opinion. All right, let's keep going here. Intel, and I don't mean like the CIA and FBI and whatnot, but Intel, the company, is trending because Donald Trump mentioned it. The CEO of Intel is highly conflicted and must resign immediately. There are no other solution to this problem. Thank you for your attention to this problem. What? I'm not sure. So anyway, a bunch of people bought Intel last night because of Trump's semiconductor tariff announcement. And then he skull-fucked them sideways in the morning. Insane Joker level stuff. So here's why this is a controversy. Tom Cotton actually wrote a letter to somebody. He puts in this post, the new CEO of Intel reportedly has deep ties to the Chinese communists. U.S. companies who receive government grants should be responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars and adhere to strict security regulations. The board of Intel owes Congress an explanation. And he writes this letter to to somebody at Intel. Let's see, to Frank D. Yeary, chairman of the board of directors, Intel Corporation. He says, I write to express concerns about the security integrity of Intel's operations and its potential impact on U.S. national security. In March 2025, Intel appointed Lip Bu Tan as its new CEO. Mr. Tan reportedly controls dozens of Chinese companies and has a stake in hundreds of Chinese advanced manufacturing and chip firms. At least 8 of these companies reportedly have ties to the Chinese People's Liberation Army. Mr. Tan was most recently the CEO of Cadence Design Systems, a company that makes electronic design automation, EDA technology, which is a key enabler of advanced chip design. Last week, Cadence pleaded guilty to illegally selling its products to a Chinese military university and transferring its technology to an associated Chinese semiconductor company without obtaining a license. These illegal activities occurred under Mr. Tan's tenure. Intel was awarded nearly $8 billion from the Chips and Science Act, the largest grant to a single company. Intel is required to be a responsible steward of the American taxpayer dollars and comply with all applicable security regulations. Mr. Tan's association raised question about Intel's ability to fulfill those obligations. In the interest of transparency and national security, I respectfully request a response for the following questions by August 15th, 2025. Number 1. Was the board aware of Cadence's subpoenas before hiring Mr. Tan as CEO? If so, what measures were taken to address concerns about Cadence's activities under Mr. Tan? Number 2. Did the board require Mr. Tan to divest from his positions in semiconductor firms linked to the Chinese Communist Party or the People's Liberation Army, and any other concerning entities in China that could pose a conflict of interest for Intel CEO? And finally, number 3, which I'm having a hard time reading. Given Intel's contact under the Secure Enclave program, has Mr. Tan disclosed any remaining investments, professional roles, or other ties to Chinese companies to the U.S. government? So that's interesting. It's kind of apparently we've got a little maybe a conflict of interest and maybe an illegal conflict of interest, and that's why one company's already been what do they say, fined or whatever and whatnot. So yeah, that's that could be concerning. Hello, Selected Boy. Yeah, boy. What's up? Is Monkey still streaming over there, by the way? Has anyone looked over there lately? Let me go take a look here. Let me see if Monkey's still streaming. Let's find out. Da-da-da-da-da. Should we see what he's talking about? Should we stream snipe Ranting Monkey? Like, what are they doing over there? Let's look. Do you mind if we do this? Let's just do this for a second. I want to see what he and Jack are talking about. Here, we put it full screen. What are they talking about?
Indian. Oh. They're keeping it real. Yeah, there's just as much corruption there as there anywhere else. Anytime,
okay,
it's like,
let's talk about what we should put in the chat.
We need you to work with us because there's a pedophile hiding on your reservation. They're like, nah, bruh, he's that's little Touch's child, and we can't give him over to you for banging one of your kids.
Oh,
so I'm tired of their shit.
I'm concerned.
I'm tired of their shit.
I'm actually surprised that the reservation system is still in effect after all this time. I'm real shocked that shit that ended like the 50s, where they're just like, you're part of America, get over it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jack.
Turn it into a town.
PDawg says stream sniping commences. Yeah, sorry, dude. I did not mean to step on your time here, but this is when I woke up and was ready. So, guys, go watch PDawg.
No worries.
I'm wrapping up. We're at our 2-hour mark. So, guys, thank you for coming and hanging out. Now that there's clips of Monkey saying "fuck the Indians," that's great.
Well, you weren't specific as to engine or feather, or dot or feather rather.
I'm tired of all the native people shit. I really am.
Me too. I am
this
too.
This is 2025. All right.
You're part of America now.
Get the fuck over it.
No, they need that divisive political
all right,
movement.
enough of that. All right, let's
shit, we gave you half of Oklahoma. Get over it. And by the way, I will.
Okay, there we go. I will what?
Your plight. As soon as you start caring about the plight of people that your tribes slaughtered to extinction.
What?
Well, and also they were held slaves. Did you know? By the way, I learned this little tidbit by watching the internet today. Did you know that before there was ever a whitish or pale-face person over in the Americas, that there were some Indian nations that were heavily steeped into slavery before there were any other people here? Did you know that? Of course, then we got to remember the Aztecs did human sacrifices, but no one wants to talk about that. We never want to talk about the bad things that happened. Like, for example, like how didn't the Iroquois basically completely genocide the Hurons? I mean, they're gone. They literally wiped out their entire existence. But nobody talks about that part of Native American history. Hello, Midnight Exile. What's up? We call them Siberian now. Yeah, but even, there's all kinds of things going on. All right, let's, where was I? Census, we already did that. They got Tom Cotton's letter, separate link. Oh, let's talk about the main topic here. This another stupid bill in California. So, and we briefly talked about it, I think last week, that this was coming up, but apparently this bill is passing. Oh, did I put a link over there? Did someone drop a link into Monkey Stream for my stream? That would be cool. All right. Here's the article from PJ Media. Pastor warns parents, if Democrats pass AB 495, this is it. Pack up, grab your kids, leave California. So California, the land of stupid laws that unfortunately my state often mimics, is very famous for passing a lot of anti-parent laws. Okay. And what? Oh, that's Monkey. Wait, you put that in my chat, Somnipple Nation. Anyway, so they have this new bill, AB 495. And so apparently this pastor's, a nationally known pastor, is kind of talking about it. So let's just go through this and we'll explain it. Hopefully this article will explain it. If not, I have a thread open for that'll explain it too. A nationally known California pastor is calling on parents of underage children to pack up and leave the state if Assembly Bill 495 passes and is signed into law. The bill makes all underage California school children the target of traffickers and kidnappers by design. This is the end of parental rights. Calvary Chapel Chino Hills pastor Jake Hibbs told parishioners last week, if this bill passes, I'm going to ask you parents to leave the state of California. You're going to have to pack up. You're going to have to get out. You got to get out. You got to run with your kids. You got to go. With this bill, California Democrats are going all in on the destroy the village to save it rationale for saving children illegally in the country. So this is basically they're trying to help illegal immigrant kids, okay? While endangering every other child as well. Indeed, all children legally or illegally in this country could be kidnapped or trafficked under this bill. We don't understand why it's acceptable to allow children legally in the U.S. to be trafficked, but these Democrats are evil. They don't care about kids or their parents. And then the visibly angry kid starts talking about this. Hibbs calls AB 495 the California legislature trafficking bill. It's a meat market bill. It's a trafficking bill, he says. Here's how we got here. Last spring, the California Assembly, that's their legislature, Democrats, decided to cleverly switch the language of the California Family Code to somehow protect children illegally in the country from feared ICE raids by allowing shirt-tail relatives, or for that matter, perfect strangers, to take them out of school or daycare. Did you hear that carefully now? Did you hear that? Okay. So this was an apparent attempt to allow non-governmental organizations, nonprofits, and other groups, this same bunch who lost more than 300,000 children who were brought over the borders by Joe Biden's cartel buddies and then disappeared, to take kids again without parental permission or notification. Now, that's the important part of this thing. To take kids without parental permission or notification. The bill also gives these strangers the ability to provide children with medical and dental care. What? Think abortions, sex change operations, STD checks, mental exams, and female circumcisions. So strangers would have to, here's how it works. Here's what this bill is proposing. Strangers, again, this is in the guise of protecting illegal immigrant kids. Strangers, I'll say it again, strangers. I'm trying to do that stranger danger thing. Strangers would have to fill out the one-page caregiver authorization affidavit in which they attest that they are granting themselves permission to take custody of a child of their choosing, provided they have the child's name and birth date. All that they're giving themselves permission to take a child from school because they have a name and a birth date. Doesn't have to be their parents. Schools would have to take the stranger's word for it because no identification, parental notification, or background check is required to find who they are or if they are a pervert. Then the in loco parents, school factotums, or pimps if you prefer, would bring the victim to the perp. It's unconscionable. Hibbs isn't acting, and he's not kidding. He's holding a rally and lobbying sessions in Sacramento on August 19th to get lawmakers to kill the bill 100% that 100% strips parents of their parental rights. He's asking thousands of California parents, grandparents, and others to show up to the state capitol to stand up for their rights and the safety of their children. Now, here's the thing. California is also one of these states where they have made it illegal for parents to get medical information about their children after they turn 13. So if you're 13, a child in 13 California, your parents are not allowed to know whether or not you are getting sex hormones or an abortion or anything. They're not allowed to know it at all. But you know, your insurance can get billed, but you're not allowed to know. You're not allowed to know if your kids are getting medical attention. Also, California is the state where they, I believe they lowered the age of consent to 14 as long as the person you're consenting with is not more than 10 years older than you. Yeah, this is California. They have some fan-freaking-tastic laws. So anyway, Hibbs say the problem is the result of allowing evil to advance. He told his flock, because good people don't vote in California, we've got idiots running the state, perverts now, and now he rude. Your kids are vulnerable to what? State sanctioned, call it kidnapping or trafficking. The bill has recently gained notice as it winds its way through the legislature. Attorney Nicole Pearson, who's no conservative and heads the group Facts, Law, Truth, Justice, testified before a committee saying this bill is terrifying. Is this her? Let's see. Is this her? No, this is Celeste Rodriguez. Here's a quote from her. California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, him or her, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. Can you see where that might be a problem? This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic, she warned. These are unintended consequences, and it is terrifying, and they are unconscionable or unavoidable. So that's one really bad California law that they're coming with. I can't believe. I'm just dumbfounded that they're doing that. Also, the other. Oh, and here's, by the way, here's the thread that the lawyer put on here. So here it is. She says, just as I suspected, AB 495 is even worse than I thought. It is 100,000% a vehicle to take legal custody away from parents or guardians without due process of law. Notice the charges against you and the basis thereof, plus an opportunity to be heard. And now so she has this Exhibit 47. The decision of a care. This is about the medical part where they don't. Someone who's not your parent's kid can take you out of school and consent to their medical treatment. That's scary. The decision of a caregiver to consent or refuse medical or dental care for a minor shall be superseded by any contravening decision of the parent and other person having legal custody of the minor, provided the decision of the parent or other person having legal custody of the minor does not jeopardize the life, health, and safety of the minor. That doesn't make sense. Hello, Keister Bunny. How you doing? Welcome. As a Southern California resident who raised 2 sons here, I am absolutely beside myself at the enabling for trafficking that's happening here. When the laws don't result in loss of a child, CPS finds a way to step in. Yeah, this just sounds just so freaking dubious. So now let's say with the really weird California consent law. Okay. So your 14-year-old daughter or son, it doesn't matter. Your 14-year-old child can be at school and their consenting adult that's not more than 10 years older than them can come sign them out of school for a little afternoon delight now. Then it'd have to be a relative. Amazing. So anyway, she says what this means is the caregiver does not get legal custody of the child by filling out this affidavit. She or he just gets to make educational and medical decisions while you are away, and he or she cannot contradict your wishes unless we disagree with them, in which case he or she does not get the final say over your child, aka legal custody by default. This bill is so sick, these poor immigrant families have no idea their children will be stolen from them, and neither do you. She tagged a bunch of people on that one. Hello, Jen T. What up? So, yeah, California's, well, let's just, okay, here, we haven't done it yet today, have we? Well, here we go. Here's our first one. FTG, California. FTG, California. Fuck those guys. I'm sorry. Another, by the way, apparently California also was trying, there was a law passed California kind of like targeting people who make satire of the California's governor and leadership, whatnot. Well, apparently the Babylon Bee and Rumble have been pushing it back against that. Oh shit, this fucking Daily Wire. Hang on a second. Daily Wire is just so annoying. Let's see. Let's please tell me this has been archived already. I only saw the nope, it hasn't. All right, fuck it. We're not doing it. Zombie Teddy, my gosh, welcome back. Nice to have you here. Are y'all jumping over here from Monkey Stream? I'm just curious. It's been a while. All right, let's. So that was my last article, but I did have a couple here that I saw this. Oh, that Cincinnati brawl that happened and where the people beat the shit out of these white folks after the white guy smacked a black guy in the face or whatever. Now there's been, this is another one too. Well, I can't do that because Daily Caller has it archived. No, I don't want that. Maybe let's see if anyone's archived this one. My God, what a pain in the ass. Nope, not that one either. Okay, well, never mind. It's interesting how some of these outlets that I've been going to a lot now suddenly are paywalling everything. Let's see. Let's just find a good headline here. Oh, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. They're going to raise taxes in Chicago. Are you shocked? Are you shocked? Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says finance is at a point of no return without a massive tax hike. So remember how the citizens of Chicago have been coming to city council meetings very, very angry that the city of Chicago had been putting up a lot of people who were here on a dubious, by dubious means, aka illegal aliens, in a bunch of hotel stuff. The city of Chicago is spending millions and millions and millions of dollars on that, right? And now the city is having financial problems, and he's saying they should have a massive tax hike. Chicago's self-professed progressive mayor, Democrat, Mayor Brandon Johnson, is warning that the city's finances are at the point of no return unless he gets massive tax hikes to replace dwindling revenue. Johnson told his constituents that the system that people rely on are woefully underfunded, and he wants higher taxes, adding, everyone knows that, everyone, what you know, my commitment is to progressive revenue. I can't do this by myself. Chicago's facing a disastrous $1.1 billion with a B deficit for 2026, and Johnson insists he needs more than means more progressive revenue options to fill the shortfall, according to CBS News. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of this, but I got to comment on this because I know that there are people there saying, well, why don't you just tax the billionaires more? Why don't you just tax the billionaires? Billionaires used to have a 90% top tax bracket. Y'all realize, and I know my audience knows this, but y'all realize that there aren't enough billionaires for all the shit Democrats want to do. They play this class warfare rhetoric. And one thing they don't, it's the funny thing, the one thing they don't tell you, especially when they tell you that, you know, the top tax bracket, you know, back before whatever, when it was, you know, the top tax bracket for, you know, millionaires, billionaires, it wasn't even just millionaires, was 90%. So at some point you make X number of dollars, and they started to, you know, like, you know, the way that the tax brackets work, once you get past one point, everything above that, they tax 90%, which is, you know, it doesn't make sense to me anyway, because you're just taking people's money for, then what do? They just stop producing, or they find other ways to, they find other ways to compensate themselves. But the point being, they always talk about that, oh, the top tax bracket was 90%. Did they also tell you, or you also ever hear them say that the lowest tax bracket was double what it is now? And all those brackets in between. Look, we have 7 tax brackets right now. Before we went down to 7 tax brackets, does anyone remember how many there were? Does anyone know how many tax brackets there were? So like, you know how when if let's say you make above the first 3 tax brackets, your adjusted gross income is above the first 3 tax brackets. Everything up to X dollars, you get taxed at, say, 10% now. Everything from that to the next tax bracket, you get taxed like 20%. And then I'm just making it for easy round numbers. And then that third round is like 30%. Now, I don't know, those aren't exactly what they are, but you know what I'm saying? Did you know there used to be 24 tax brackets? So if let's say you're in the 13th tier, you have to calculate your tax for 13 different tax brackets for every amount you're above each level. And back before, you know, when we went down to 7 tax brackets in the 80s, back before that, all those tax brackets were basically double what they are, or almost double what they are now. And so when you say they're going to, oh, well, we're going to tax the rich, we're going to add a 2% tax to billionaires, and that'll pay for all this shit that we want to do. No, it won't. Even if you confiscated the entire wealth of the top 1%, it wouldn't run our country for a year. And then you would also no longer have any of those businesses. The only way you're going to raise the revenue you're talking about, to do all the shit you want to do, is you'd have to raise everybody's tax bracket, because there's more people to take money from at the bottom than there are at the top. So, you know, everyone's excited about, you know, how, oh, well, these European countries all have, you know, universal health care, whatever. Well, they're also taxed at 40% of their income for just the federal level. And in the United States, we got taxes for everything. That's how they pay for it. They take 40% from everybody. So it's fascinating how they say, oh, we're going to have to raise your taxes on the billionaires. No, you're going to have to raise your taxes on everybody if you want to keep doing all this crazy shit. And unfortunately, at some point, they're going to realize they have to do that anyway, somehow. Or they, you know, I'm sorry. Silly fucking me. You know what else they could do? They could stop spending so much damn money. How about that? Huh? How about that? All right, let's finish up with this article about the Babylon Bee fighting back at California. It's just a short little article here. The Babylon Bee and Rumble are suing California over 2 laws that censor political satire during election season, including some images like memes that mock political candidates. See, remember California made up that law? They said you're not allowed to do it like during an election. It's like, well, that's the best time to do satire. A hearing in a Sacramento federal court was held Tuesday to determine whether the laws will be permanently blocked after a judge issued a temporary injunction. The final decision expected in the coming weeks. The Babylon Bee, which posts satirical content, and Rumble, a major video hosting platform, filed their challenge in September, along with California attorney and blogger Kelly Chang Rickert. California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom had signed the pair of laws just days earlier. 2 state laws, AB 2839 and AB 2655, prohibit pictures and videos likely to harm a candidate's electoral prospects during an election season. Oh my God, how could that even be close to constitutional? It's always fucking California, man. How could that even be close to constitutional? The 2 state laws, AB 2839 and AB 2655, prohibit pictures and videos. Okay. And it would California would punish anyone who distributes materially deceptive content about candidates or election officials, even satire. One of the laws forces people to include a disclaimer when posting satire, and the other law requires large online platforms to label or remove posts with materially deceptive content. The penalty includes paying significant fines. The plaintiff's legal team at Alliance Defending Freedom argues that the laws are essentially a war on memes and use vague standards to violate their client's constitutionally protected right to post political content online freely. That should be really scary, Jonathan Scruggs, senior counsel at Alliance for Defending Freedom, told the Daily Wire. Anytime the government is saying that you can't on your own social media accounts distribute things online or repost what other people put online because the government determines that it is false, that should really strike fear and really it's a road to censorship in the political sphere. It absolutely is. They don't want anything that might make them look bad. Even if it's satire. Sometimes satire is the best way to take down these assholes. So, all right. I think I'm going to make that it today, guys, because I'm looking at the time going, oh, I'm supposed to be done. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to drop the links. There's a couple extra articles there. Plus, I've got the aggregator, Ace of Spades blog. It will be in the links today. Lots of articles there, man. I just didn't have time to go through them all. So that's it. It's time for me to go. Let me share this link real quick. Copy, and here are the links. Oops, what's that thing? What the hell did I do there? That's not what I meant to do. Hang on. There we go. There's the links for today's show. That's it. I got to go. Have a lovely day. Let me know. Tomorrow, remember, tomorrow's Friday. Ask Me Anything Day. Friday Q&A. Ask Me Anything. Think of one good question for tomorrow and drop it in the chat when we get into this section when we get there. I'd appreciate that. All right, that's it. I got to go. My name's PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye, bye, bye. Where's the clicker thingy? Right here. There it is. Click. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thanks for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.